welcome. Happy Wednesday to everyone out there in the world. This is like my first uploaded Real Talk for an Unreal World video, which I'm super happy about. The first one I did was a live video. I'm also doing a Facebook Live at the same time, so if it looks like I'm kind of looking this way as well, it's because it's for my channel on YouTube. I'm moving away from Facebook, but I need to do this because, they tell me you got to generate a community, which you do. And I think I got some cool things to say just based on my experiences and the life I have lived to this point. And with that, today is a big day for me. March 3rd last year, I was in prison. I can finally say that. This whole process of sharing things about your life, it's not easy. I tell people you should just be real, authentic, and share. It's difficult. It's quite difficult to do that. But I'm cool with it now. I have shared for a year. I was in jail for a bit. So almost a year. But I've continued to do these videos so I could be comfortable with the things that I've done in my life. And my family supports me. And my girl supports me, so there's just love, right? So, and I'm all about love, I'm all about authenticity, and I'm all about truth. And I feel like I'm finally at a point where I can do that. I can share this stuff with you. So today is a big day because a year ago today I was in prison. I was a hardcore drug addict, big drug dealer. Heroin was my drug of choice. It gave me a warm hug on a cold day, and I had many cold days because I didn't have a house. A lot of the times I was in cars, I was in, just doing things that, just choices I made throughout my life. And I'll put it to you this way. Somebody put it to me like this: when I got out, I was reaching for help because I was given a gift, alleviated from my 20-year abuse of my life and my choices overnight. I was given a gift, and I'm very fortunate for that. So for me to be here today doing things like this, it's a gift is meant to be shared. And I believe that that's what it was. I'm very lucky. I have my teeth. I got my hair. I look the way I look, which I'm really happy about. I never appreciated this sort of physical vessel, I guess, that I was in ever. But I do now because it's all for something. It's there to share. And I'm cool with that. And I just want to share it with as many people as I can because, looking at me, if I hear many people in my life say, oh, fucking drug addicts, or all homeless people, or all people with mental health, or whatever it is, well, I was one. You're looking at one. And a lot of people see me today, they smile, they tell me really nice things, and I had to put work in to get to this point, but most certainly they're definitely looking at one of those people. So I think it's important for me to share because, it could be anyone. Anyone can do good. Anyone can come out. Anyone can share their story and use it for a positive. So I'm doing that today, and I'm very grateful about that. So a bit about my story. Had a really good childhood. I was always a really good person. I just was doing bad things. Generally to myself. I never harmed other people. I never robbed people. I wasn't into that. My family may tell you a different story because you always hurt the ones you love. And that's the truth. And I did do that with my family, and I've asked for forgiveness, and I, rather than telling them I'm better, I've showed them, and now they support me 100%. And that wasn't easy. When you lose your whole family, you really are left with yourself, and you can sort of appreciate what you don't have. And it took me a while to get their trust back, and it's still a growing process, but one that I do with authenticity and honesty. So when you live by that manner and in that manner, things change because you make changes. So it's not about talk. Talk is cheap. And there's too much talk in the world, There's a lot of talk. So if you just do things and show people, they might start answering the phone again. That's what it took for me. And just not hiding behind anything anymore. I owned everything I did. When I got out of jail, people asked me what sort of sabbatical I was on or where I was for a while. And I had to go back to my parents' house. They took me in for a while to just check me. And my mom was always there for me. So I'm very fortunate for my mother. She never gave up on me, even in the darkest days. I called her that day when I got out. I said, Mom, I'm different. I need a place to breathe for a little bit. And she said, all right, Justin, come home. And I had to show, I had a lot. It was sort of that last chance kind of thing but she just didn't give up on me. So if you do have a child that is out there doing crazy things and, you don't understand why, but you still want to support them and believe in them, you never know. Maybe don't give up on them. Actually, don't give up on them, because I'm proof of what can happen with a little bit of help and love. And I'm very, very grateful for that. So when I made that phone call, I came home. I went to the cottage, family cottage. We have always a place of serenity for me, because I was never really in the game or doing the things I was doing for 20 years straight. My mom and dad always let me come home and breathe for a little bit and get my bearings, get, a little bit of perspective. And unfortunately, I would go back out in the world and make the same mistakes, because the lesson hadn't been learned yet for me. But when it was learned, they were there for me. And they were, a little shocked, I think, and a little skeptical. Certainly they could see this man that they'd never seen before, but, they kind of saw glimpses of him before. But when they saw it, they saw it. So people had asked me, where had you been? I just told them I just got to jail, making bad choices. And my dad was sort of put off by that a little bit, like, how could you tell people that? How could you say that you were in prison? It's like, but Dad, what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to lie? I don't do those things anymore. And when I made a choice and I was given a gift, I was, sort of told, you don't lie, you don't cheat, you don't steal, you live by authenticity, truth, and love. And I did that, and I do that. And when he started to see that you embrace the person you are, the experiences you have and you've had in life, you can be authentic and people can accept you for who you are. Because once you accept the things you've done, it's really up to people. Not everyone will like you, not everyone will like your choices, but at least you do it authentically, and whatever process time they need to take in the information you've given, well, that's up to them. But I can tell you, being honest, my family's very much come to embrace me and the man that I am today. I'm very fortunate to have a voice, and I'm also very fortunate to use it. I sit in front of the computer for a little bit and I stress, because this is unnatural. It's not easy to do this. It's just not. It's especially like I look back to a year ago laying in a prison cell. It's like, holy, I don't know. It's kind of amazing, really. So I'm doing this today because how can you not? For me, how can you not? And I only am moving forward. To me, it's all about growth. It's all about lessons, and it's all about growth. And it's all about experiences and sharing. That's what life is. Emotions, understanding them, feeling, doing this kind of thing. Money's bullshit. Job's bullshit. This is just somebody else's idea of what life should be for us. And that's unfortunate. But at the end of the day, I am very happy with who I am and what life looks like to me these days. I started a company. I'm doing very well. I've got friends. I love myself. I know my self-worth. And I check myself. I got someone I share my love with. I'm really fortunate for that. I'm really, really happy about that. So it's been a rough go, but certainly I'm happy to be where I am, and I wouldn't change it for the world, to be honest with you. And if I had to redo everything again, I would redo it. And as crazy and as that sounds even to me, because the shit was heavy. It was not easy. It's not easy doing things you don't want to do, looking over your shoulder and watching this other person live this life and learn experiences, and you don't understand why, why you're doing it. You have no idea until you learn the lesson. And then it all comes to you. And you do understand. And you're there. It's so you can share. So somebody told me when I got out of jail, and I was trying to figure out why all this happened to me. They put it. I was in Earth School. Now, granted, Earth School or not, my classes were hard. They weren't easy. They weren't easy at all. But you know what? I did it, and I passed the course, and I'm here today, out of the dark and living in the light, and that's a beautiful thing. You know, living in the light. That's a really, really beautiful thing. Yeah, I was very fortunate growing up. My parents and my family instilled a lot of good morals in me. We had a cottage, boats, snowboards, dirt bikes, all the great things that, living in this country, being free to us, what that means, I was able to have. And I was very fortunate for that. After that, I started to learn lessons that my family and my parents couldn't teach me. So I had to learn those on my own in a very difficult manner. And they were my choices, but obviously my choices affect my family because, they are there to guide you and they don't understand where their guidance went wrong. But we all understand that now. My family and I are very open, and I do know why I did the things I did. And I am able to sit here today and be this man. So it was very hard for them as well, but they embrace me. And they see that this is going to help, hopefully, many people, but even if it helps one, it's all good. So with that, I definitely, I chose to use heroin. I went through all the drugs, obviously, because, I was a drug addict and I was good at it. I was real good at it, experiencing new things. Why not? Try it hard, all the way. I'm a Scorpio, fast and hard is how I do. And I did it. And I did it very well. So once I arrived at the conclusion that I still wanted to function and not be awake all the time, that kind of messed with me, and it affected my mind. And any drug that sort of affected my mind, I got rid of quickly. Well, some would say longer, took a little longer, but for me, yeah, I got rid of it. And heroin was there because I could function until I couldn't. And it took a while to get there. I lost a lot because of it. Because the drug, even though I didn't want it to be, was always first and foremost. But I tried to trick myself and just keep it secondary as much as I could. But I have 2 relationships that failed miserably. 3 kids. 2 kids with one girl, 1 kid with another girl. And I lost it all. I was a very good father. I was really good at that. I was, and I am. But I lost that, which sucks. But it's not a forever kind of thing, I fought for them for years, and like I said, I've only been this way for a year, so it was really unfortunate that, to lose your best friends. When you lose love, you can appreciate life on a different level, because love is everything. I just had something else on my mind, and it's unfortunate, and I don't even want to say that, but it's the truth. And it's difficult to say that because my kids were my best friends. And to know that they were taken away with drugs is a horrible thing, but it was a reality nonetheless. I wasn't in a good place to be the best father I could be. And, I fought for them after, and it just wasn't my time yet. And I couldn't appreciate that in the moment, because how do you take a father away from the children, I know other fathers that have their kids and they're totally messed. I just couldn't understand for me why it was like that, because for a big portion of their lives I was their mother and their father. I still maintained a habit. I still had a job. I had a house. I had all these things, but until I didn't. When I lost my little guy, I sort of just gave up on all of that because I couldn't go through it a second time. And that's when, for 2 years, I really learned some difficult lessons, because I was comfortable with nothing, because pretty much at that point I was ready to be done with this whole physical life. Um, and that's the truth. I just didn't care anymore. I thought, well, I lost my family. I worked real hard at that. I lost love. I worked real hard at that. I lost everything I ever had. And I worked really hard at that. So I just thought, okay, well, once you've lost anything that matters, I didn't give a shit about the money or the clothes or like any materialistic shit. None of that mattered to me. It never really has. It did at one point in my life. I shouldn't say that because I wanted a Rari, a condo. I wanted all this kind of things. But once you move away from that, it strips you down and reminds you of what you're really left with. And I'm grateful for that lesson because I understand it and appreciate it. I see these kids out here in Vancouver like trying to get Gucci shoes and driving a busted up car and they're going to buy like a $4,000 bag. It's like, really? Like, does that make you feel better? But it's their journey, and I guess it does make them feel better. So for my journey, I was fortunate to have something that really was widely not accepted by society because it made it a whole lot easier to see how bad it really was. And that was always in my mind to change that aspect. So I did, and when I made a choice to change, I made that choice and I stuck with it. And I'm very grateful for that today. I'm very, very grateful for that because I am who I am. And losing everything has taught me so much about what I gained. And to live in the dark, you can appreciate the light on a level that just really can't even be explained. This is how I can explain it. And for me to be able to share it through this way and through my experiences is how I share the light. I'm a totally different person today. Totally different person. I was always a good person. My parents taught me very well. My grandmother, grandfather, everybody in my family. Very cool people. I learned from their mistakes. I watched my family, how they grow and what they did, what I liked and what I didn't like, and I just sort of fabricated this being that I am today. It took a long time. I'm 37. I'm not late to the game, which I thought I was for a long time, but I now know the design of how everything went down. It was just meant to be for this time. There's a shift in the world going on, and it's very real. It's an awakening, they say, for some. It's very, very real. I'm proof of it. That's the truth. So I think it's best for me to share like this story of my story. And I think we should also associate, like, we all have a story. Mine's heavy, but what does it matter? You have a story. Everybody here has a story watching. The idea is not to compare it. It's just to share it so we can learn from it and apply it in our future lessons. I believe that's what it is, and that's what it's about, and that's why I do it. And that's why I'm trying to create a community with my YouTube channel, because I just want it to be a place of authenticity, trust, and honesty, and like no judgment. Judgment is somebody else's idea of things. We're taught that, though. It's learned behavior, and I can appreciate that. School system teaches you that. Schoolmates teach you that because it's learned behavior from your family. I can just try and share that, if you feel the same way as I do, or if you have these ideas like that you're tired of this way of life, then we can build a community together of like-minded individuals and grow something cool and learn from each other. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's what this YouTube channel is about. That's why I'm sharing today. And that's why I'm really happy that I had to go through everything I had to go through, as crazy as that sounds. Yeah. It's I can't even hear myself saying it out loud. It's like, holy shit. My mother's probably going like, good Lord, how could he do it all over again? But I would, because it was my journey. This is my purpose now. I have purpose for the first time in life. I can apply all the things that I went through and share them and hopefully create something beautiful that we can all be a part of, because I'm a human being, a part of the human race, living on planet Earth. I don't see borders. I don't see color. I see culture, because that tells me what part of the planet you were raised on, which I love. I think that's really beautiful. Anybody hating on anybody else from another part of the world, how could you do that? Like, we're human beings, a part of the human race on planet Earth. So if you're hating on anybody in the street, got out of prison, maybe a drug addict, mental health issues, we're all family. So we should need to embrace that. We need to remember that. And if I didn't have my family members helping me out in the world, a lot of times I didn't have my family, but I have family in places that had nothing. There's communities out there